This author and someone who cares. And I wanted to share some information with you because I'm getting a ton of emails, like non-stop emails, non-stop phone calls with people wanting to learn more about the gut microbiome. Dr. Sabine, who I believe is absolutely amazing with the work that she does, and every time we do an interview with her, people are just fascinated. And I'm very, very excited about that because she 100% is doing work that I believe is going to contribute big time to society. And the work that I do, my coaches do, the work we do with Stay Healthy, all of this is cutting edge. Unfortunately, many people don't know what the gut microbiome is because it's still extremely new. And I believe that people like Dr. Fauci, who is aware of it but does not know it, um, the National Institutes of Health, the World Health Organization, the CDC, they are aware of it, but they don't know it. There's a handful of people who really understand it, and they will tell you that they don't understand it because things are advancing regularly. However, with all of that being said, we do understand the keys about the microbiome and what each and every one of us can do to improve it. So why is it important? Well, let me ask you this question. And the question is, do you know the difference between immunization and vaccination? I would say that 8 out of 10 people don't. And we are in the midst of a crazy moment in time where health is a topic of discussion every day. And what's intriguing to me, before I share with you the difference between vaccination and immunization and why I'm bringing that up, is that I believe that a lot of the answers to optimizing our health is going to be discovered in the microbiome. And what's even more fascinating is if you go back in time, over 2,000 years ago, Hippocrates, he said that all disease begins in the gut. And fast forward, even though we look at him as the first or modern day physician, right? The Hippocratic Oath is based on Hippocrates. Every doctor is aware of Hippocrates. They probably heard the famous quote that all disease begins in the gut, but yet they don't know much about the gut. And they don't know much about a lot of things, but then they know about a lot of things. It's time to connect the dots, you guys. You know, there's a famous proverb that I think about all the time that comes from Ethiopia. And the proverb says that when spider webs unite, they can tie up an elephant. It's like when you connect the dots, clarity happens. And then there's a confidence. And you can really maximize life in so many ways. Now, all of that being said, why did I bring up, or why am I sharing with you this thing about the gut microbiome? Well, one, we have put together an amazing course. It's a 30-day microbiome makeover course. And you'll be able to get access to it at thegutdiet.com. And I'm not here to promote that at this moment because you can't even sign up for it if you're catching this live. But as of October 4th, 2021, anyone can have access to it. And what's fascinating is that inside of 30 days, you will know a lot about the microbiome. Well, put it this way, you will know enough that helps you realize the importance of having a healthy microbiome, because more today than ever, we want to improve our microbiome. Now, What motivated me to do this live right now was because I was contacted by a big time reporter, and they interviewed me, and they had questions about people who are anti-vaxxers, because I did a video and I said why I'm not an anti-vaxxer. And they assume I had not been vaccinated, like a lot of people. And so they wanted my insight on why I'm not real big to get the vaccination. And that has nothing to do with this share. And so my initial response is I asked the reporter, I said, hey, do you know the difference between immunization and vaccination? And he hobnobbed and said a whole bunch of things, but he really didn't know. Well, immunization is really the desired outcome, right? That can come about if you receive a vaccination, or your immune system is built up or strong enough to fight off a disease. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to that. And then a vaccination, many of you have now become extremely knowledgeable of a vaccination. A vaccination is where the vaccine will either help you develop what they call antibodies, or will inactivate the disease in your body. So it's gonna fuel your immune system to be strong enough to fight off the disease if you come in contact with it. Okay, and that's all great and dandy. But immunization, again, let me stress this, is when your immune system is built up to the point where you will not get sick from the disease. So I'm going to say it one more time. And when I was talking to this reporter, this is exactly how I said it to him. I said, hear me, I'm going to say this 3 more times. Your immune system is what happens when our immunization is when your immune system is built up. Your immune system is built up. Your immune system is built up. And then I asked him, what is the immune system? Because if all of this is based on one's immune system, what is it? And he didn't have an answer for that either. And most people I talk to don't. And I said, well, I'm going to share something with you. And he said, what's that? I said, 70%, which is a large percentage of your immune system, and it could be more, is your gut microbiome. He says, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard about that. And I said, listen to me, sir. 70% of your immune system is your gut microbiome, and you're asking questions and you're doing a story that is 100% about our immune system, and you don't even know about the gut microbiome, and it makes up 70+% of your immune system. Dr. Fauci is talking about the immune system all the time, and he's never talking about the gut microbiome. President Biden is talking about the immune system and why everybody wants to get it stronger and getting vaccinated and all this, and he has never mentioned the word gut microbiome. Are you kidding me? At this point, I have his attention, and maybe I got your attention, because here's the reality. I've been playing with the gut microbiome. And when I say play, it's play compared to someone like Dr. Sabine. So I've been studying it since 2011, 2010, at the height of some of my popularity as I was scaling internationally with my nutrition program to help people lose weight. And as I was looking into it, I was starting to become more and more just blown away. And then I was fortunate enough in my life to meet Dr. Sabine and get a close-up opportunity to learn even more. And every day I learn something new. And every day it's reinforced of how important it is. And now I said, you know what? I talked to one of my partners, Barbara Chris, who's a coach with our Diet Free Life methodology. And I said, we need to put together a course, something that will educate people, because once they understand the basics of the gut microbiome, that's going to change it for everybody. I mean, if you want to improve your fasting glucose, if you have a challenge with insulin resistance, or you want to become more insulin sensitive, if you want to better understand how to improve the skin, your skin, your energy levels throughout the day, a lot of this ties into the gut microbiome. It's your immune system. It's your intestinal tract. We're talking trillions of microbes that live inside your gut, as well as the microbiome, the microbiota. There's all these interesting terms. We're talking about from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You have microbes all over you, all inside of you. And there are things that we can do to make it better. So then as I was talking to him, I said, so you want people to get vaccinated? He goes, yes. And I said, can you tell me why? And he says, well, I can tell you that I don't want to catch COVID. And I said, okay, so if I'm not vaccinated, you feel that you can catch it from me? He goes, yes. I said, well, you have misinformation, sir. And I said, this is a big part of the problem. I said, one, whether I'm vaccinated or not, you can still catch COVID from someone and they can still get COVID. So what's the point? And so he went back and forth, and I said, let me give you an example. I said, remember Steve Jobs? He goes, yeah. I said, Steve Jobs got cancer, and he decided that he wanted to take an alternative approach to dealing with his cancer than going with Western methods. And unfortunately, it wasn't going well, and it was too late. And he lost his life. He died. And I said, that was his choice to take an alternative approach. It was his body. It was his health. And unfortunately, he died. The same for, like, if I don't want to be vaccinated, my not being vaccinated is not hurting anybody. It would hurt me. And then as I was talking to him and he was starting to get it, I said, let's go back to the gut microbiome. I said, Dr. Sabine did a study, her own study, peer reviewed, and I sent him the link. He's a changed man after learning about all this, by the way. He had literally just texted me about 10 minutes ago and is changing the story and doesn't want to go with it because he feels that what he was about to write and publish in a very big publication was going to contribute to the confusion around all of this. And now he wants to do something on the gut microbiome, which you're going to start to see more and more as people wake up. But if you really understand it, eventually you're going to be like, well, how do I improve it? Well, that's why we created this 30-day course. And as I was talking to him and he was totally like getting it, I explained to him like a couple of the things about her recent study. Like in her study, the way I understand it, and you can read it, and I can make the links, you can email us, we'll give you the links to it. Also, if you're catching this on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, there's links there where you can watch my recent interview with Dr. Sabine. And then we can make those studies are also available to you. You can look at her paper. But she's looking at different strands or bacteria that's in the gut. And when they look at a very healthy gut microbiome, they notice that there's a certain percentage of bacteria that's higher compared to all these other bacteria, right? And bifidobacterium is one of them. It's like it makes up in a healthy microbiome about 15% of the microbiome. And when they looked at, infants from 0 to 20, they saw a very healthy microbiome with, close to 15% on these younger people. So young kids who are out and about and playing with dogs and cats and touching stuff and, in the mud, in the dirt, and they have a very diverse, healthy microbiome, most of them. And that's why, in my opinion, many people that these kids would come in, they just didn't get the COVID, or at least they were asymptomatic and things were going extremely well for them. I believe that it has a lot to do with the strength of their microbiome. And so as I'm explaining that to him, he gets it. And I said, another part of the study is they looked at people 70 plus years old who had some chronic illness. And let's say on average, the percentage of bifidobacterium was less than 2%. Well, the lower that number is based as a marker, bifidobacteria, the more vulnerable you would be to any type of virus. Like your immunity is compromised. And so when they looked at people who were dead or people who were taking a lot of antibiotics, which we know can disrupt your microbiome, we saw the bifidobacteria is as low as 0. People who were dead, it was 0. So then he was like, well, how do I get mine checked? I said, well, there's ways you can get it checked. And, you know, we explain all that in the course that we're doing. Or if you work with like one of our coaches, they're all being trained and have been trained and will continue to be trained on understanding the gut microbiome, because it plays a role in everything that we do. And then he goes, well, that's very interesting. I said, yeah. So if I have an extremely healthy gut microbiome, I mean, personally, this is from me. If I got vaccinated, what if it lowered my bifidobacteria? I mean, I don't know. Have they done any testing on this? I don't know. So here's, at the end of the day, here's the deal. Whether you're vaccinated or not, because we know that people who are vaccinated are still getting COVID. And some of them are having horrible symptoms and some of them aren't. People who aren't vaccinated are getting COVID. Some of them are having horrible experiences and some of them aren't. But what we do know is that when you have a healthy immune system, then you are in a much healthier place to fight off this disease and all kind of other ailments, viruses. So why? I've been saying this since the pandemic started. I've been saying, why aren't we talking about drinking more water? Why aren't we talking about, you know, how to improve our gut microbiome? That's where the focus needs to be, not taking another med, not just getting a vaccination, but the lifestyle that you lead. You want to do the things that can help you improve your gut microbiome. So anyway, if you want to learn more, just connect with us, because we are here to help you maximize. All right. That's what it's all about, you guys. It's all about maximizing all parts of your life, not just one part, but all parts of your life. That's what it really comes down to. And we are in the business of helping people optimize their overall health. Of course, we focus a lot on losing weight, but overall health. If you want to learn more, stay in touch with us. Go to Diet Free Life, sign up for our newsletter, email me if you want more information. But as of the 4th of October 2021, you can go to the Gut Diet, THE, the Gut, GUT, Diet, DIET, to learn more about our course. It's a 30-day course, and people can start signing up as early as the 4th, but it's available at any time. And I strongly recommend every person, whether you think you're healthy or not, learn about the gut microbiome, improve your gut microbiome. What's fascinating is that within 24 hours, you can begin improving it. And we show you exactly how to do it. And we have citations for every recommendation that we provide, meaning that we substantiate every step of the way as you're making over your microbiome, because that's the goal. So again, whether it's extremely healthy or not, why not become knowledgeable of how to make it as healthy as possible? And I'll end on this. I have quite a few clients right now who have recently caught COVID, and I have been working with them for a while. Some of them may catch this and they can comment, which would be great. I would love if you guys would do that. They caught COVID and they're thriving through it. And then I have some who I've been working with, never got COVID, but yet everyone in their family got it and had major challenges, and they never got it. I 1000% believe this, and there's a lot of continued evolving science that supports it. And there's a whole bunch of gastroenterologists that would support what I'm saying right now, is that the way I have them eating has strengthened their gut microbiome, their immunity, and has helped them not come down with it. And for those who ended up getting it, help them not experience the severity. And a lot of these people have what they call preconditions: type 2 diabetes, excess body fat, autoimmune challenges. So you could be in that situation right now, right? Because you're concerned. whether you're vaccinated or not, you're concerned. If you have excess body fat, if you're pre-diabetic, if you're diabetic, if you're taking blood pressure medication, you can have all of that going on, but have a healthy gut microbiome. That's why you don't put this off. You don't put this off. Get your gut right, and everything is better. All right, so I'll be doing some updates. I got a whole bunch of them coming in the next couple of weeks. Tips, suggestions, ideas, just to help you. You know, our goal is not just to get you in our course, but just to give tips. Like there's a lot of tips I've shared in this time, and that's drinking more water, eating fruits and vegetables, getting to sleep, don't overconsume alcohol, don't eat a lot of deep fried food. All the things that people are aware of. When you start making those improvements, you're contributing back to your gut microbiome. So, Hippocrates, you were right, man. And we've been off. We have not been paying attention, but now we are. And with amazing people like Dr. Sabine, coaches that I work closely with, a lot of people who are really out there spreading the word. Hey, kudos to all of you. And let's continue to get others informed so we don't fall prey to those who are misinformed. And I believe sometimes something will be a lie when they're aware of something, but they don't tell you about it. So Dr. Fauci and all the others, why aren't you talking about it all this time? And guess what? Let's hold them. You know, let's really let them know that we are aware, because they're going to start talking about it. They have to. And then I want you to don't just go from right now as they make it popular. Let's say, well, 18 months has gone by, and why didn't you talk about it then? It's because there's going to be an added pressure to these people to talk about it. They're going to have to talk about it, because as you become more informed and educated, then you can ask the right questions, right? The questions that will hold people to the fire, because we deserve to be informed. And for those of you who are catching this, thank you. My goal is to plant the seed so that you are informed. And then as you become informed and you're more aware, you're going to start seeing microbiome everywhere. But there's also marketers out there who are just, like I watched this one doctor who 2 years ago, he was promoting and telling people not to eat beans because they have lectins. And now he's aware of the microbiome, and now that's all he's talking about. Well, we were talking about the microbiome 2 years ago. We were talking about the microbiome 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Why is he just now? Because a lot of these people will just come up with stuff just to make a buck. So even though they're talking about it, and even though it may sound right, doesn't always mean it's right. And that's why we're doing this course, so that people can know, and you can see the people who are just regurgitating information, and you won't fall prey to some of these false promises that are made available as it pertains to the microbiome. And then if you find yourself on TV or calling in on the show, and you got all these people who are just out of their mind talking crazy about health and who should be vaccinated and who shouldn't, ask them about the gut microbiome and watch how they pause. Out there just preaching all kind of stuff about health and don't know nothing about the microbiome. That just blows my mind. Let's hold them to the fire. Let's make this right. All right, you guys, have a blessed weekend. And then remember, if you want to learn more, just go to thegutdiet.com.